Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Reforming Nerdom podcast. I am one of your hosts, Jordan Cecile, and I am joined, as always, by Benjamin, Ben of the Cloth, Ben Emery. Ben, how are you?
I am doing wonderful. Yourself?
You know what? I'm good. It's a beautiful sunny day here. Can't complain.
It is.
We are going to be joined by Nate in just a little while here. He had some stuff to do, so we're going to join him in just a little bit. We're going to just reorder the show just a smidge to account for that, because we want to have Nate on for 20 questions. Today we're going to do we have a fun one lined up. Will be interesting to see if you guys can get this one.
Yeah, because I'll need Nate's help.
Yes.
Because we were terrible last time.
I think you will. So I think, it'll be a good one. So listeners, I think you'll have fun with that. But we're also doing the news after with Nate, because there was a couple news stories there that we wanted to be able to talk to him about. But before you and I, Ben, get into a little bit of a discussion over, I guess, or maybe a topic of our show, I guess we'll figure out what the topic of the show is. I don't even know if we really know what this week's topic is going to be. But just to remind everybody that we are Reforming Nerdom, and you can check us out on YouTube, podcast services, and we get together every week and talk about nerd stuff, all from an unapologetically Christian worldview. And just a reminder, you can join us over at Patreon, and you can join us over on our Discord server as well. So Ben, why don't we just get into this conversation where we are. I was checking out the news, and we were seeing that CES was on last week. Do you know CES at all, the Consumer Electronics Show? You familiar?
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm familiar. I can't say I'm like a connoisseur of any kind.
Okay. So it's a thing that I used to watch a lot, and then, I mean, everything just kind of became the same: wearables, smartwatches, different headphones. It's always just like a big thing of TVs.
Yeah.
But I thought it would be kind of fun to go through some of the things that were announced this year, because I found that in my Twitter feed, there were a lot of people saying, like, hey, this the weirdest stuff for CES, because that's one of the big things about CES as well. Yeah, you get new TVs, you get kind of cool car concepts and different things like that, but it also is a time for people just to get weird. And now that
to like push the limits a little bit.
And so there were a few things. I got a number of different products here from CES that I was wanting to get your thoughts on, whether you think it's a good idea, bad idea, terrible idea, because some of these are, I think, legit things.
This will be fun.
And some of them are bizarre. And so the first one that we got here, and this one is it's called the Roborock Saros 270, and it is the first mass-produced robotic vacuum with a foldable 5-axis mechanical arm, essentially to pick up socks. Now,
so it's just a fancy Roomba.
It is a very fancy Roomba. Now, is that something that you guys would ever actually own in your home?
So I don't even trust a regular Roomba. So no.
No?
Like 0% chance.
I love it as an idea. Like if I didn't have
this reminds me of R2-D2 on Jabba's sail barge.
Yep.
With his little arm, like, serving cocktails to everybody.
It seems like one of those things where, it's not a terrible idea, in that I don't know if anybody loves sweeping their
But like,
floor.
where does it put the socks?
Well, so that's the thing with the socks. I think it's just a matter of, because like right now,
like, listen, okay, here's the thing. If it folds the socks and puts them in my drawer,
no.
I might, sing a different tune.
One of the things that we'll get to near the end might eventually do that, but no. I think one of the issues with a robotic vacuum is it, like, when it bumps up against something with as they are right now.
Yeah.
They just go around it, and so this is like picking it up, moving it out of the way,
gets it out of the way,
continue to cleaning. So it's not doing anything super fancy.
Yeah,
but
no, I get the point of it now. So it's just to make sure that it actually cleans the path it's supposed to clean.
Yep.
So okay, I get it. Sure, whatever. If you're into a Roomba, it's just a better Roomba.
I love the idea of it because it's like the type of thing, again, if I was just like on a single floor house, I actually think this would be kind of cool because then at night when I'm in bed, it would just be vacuuming for me. I
Yeah,
think
and
that's
then when you wake up in the morning, you have been strangled in your sleep,
yeah.
and
Well, that's what the arm's for, really.
yeah,
That's like they're just not telling, this one has the ability to, oh, where is it? It has the ability to like elevate itself. So if you have low steps,
yeah,
like
I saw
very
that
low,
in one of the pictures
yeah, where is
you
it? Right there.
scrolled.
So I
Yeah,
mean, like
yeah.
we're talking about low steps. I don't know what if it actually could.
I mean, that would help it get over, like, a door like, a
Yes,
threshold in a
that's right.
door or
That's
something
right.
kinda
So,
thing, but yeah.
but so is this something? If money were not an issue, would you own this?
If money were not an issue, would I own this?
Yeah.
Honestly, probably not.
No.
Yeah, probably
I
not.
mean, that's why we have kids, right? Like, "Hey, you go sweep that up. We don't need a
Yeah,
robot."
for real. Yeah.
But what's crazy, so guess the price. Do you have any
Oh, oh, this'll be
context?
fun, actually. Yeah, we should do this with all of them. Guess the price. I don't even know what a regular Roomba costs. So, $699.97.
This model, which is the Saros Z70, oh, I think I maybe said 270, Z70, has a retail price of $2,000.
Jeez.
So this is not for the masses.
Wow.
This is expensive. So
Yeah.
yeah, you're
But I
in
mean,
the
hey, that's like when VCRs first came
yeah,
out.
that's right. The one actually the robot thing that I think would be really helpful is the robot lawnmowers. I actually
Yeah,
really
and
dig that as an
I've
idea.
seen actually this year for the first time, I've seen a couple of those just out, driving around town, and I've seen a couple of them in people's lawns.
Yeah.
That one I could go for, except also it's like now not only am I letting a robot do stuff, but I'm also giving it, like an actual weapon.
Yeah, it's
So
true.
I don't know. I
We're
don't know.
getting we're
Tricky
getting
choices.
closer. I mean, with the more AI robotic stuff, it's we're gonna have Skynet. We just need to accept it. I mean,
Yeah,
it's gonna happen,
yeah.
and we just need
Just
to deal
start
with
working
that.
on the EMPs right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the second item, this is one that I really like, and this is
Ooh,
Project Ariel. So there's
I
a
love me a good
gaming,
chair.
yeah, it's a gaming peripheral company, and like that. Well, and not just peripheral. Sorry, they sell console controllers. They sell gaming PCs,
Nice.
desks, and peripheral stuff. But this right here, the Project Ariel, is the world's first heating and cooling mesh gaming chair. And so it says a sleek bladeless design, and it's seamlessly integrated into the chair frame, enhancing comfort. And it delivers up to 30 degrees of warm air and 2 to 5 degrees in cold air. I want it. I want this chair.
I mean, that's really cool.
I,
And
I
now, I mean, the only thing is that I would encourage somebody who's gaming to the point of, uh, you might have to bleep this out, I'm not sure, sweaty balls. You're probably gaming too much.
yeah.
Um,
I
and
actually the bigger thing for me is the heating because there are times when I'm in my office and especially in the winter where
yeah,
I wanna have,
listen,
like, a heater on because I just like, yeah, you know what? I gotta chill that I can't quite I don't
yeah,
wanna put a blanket on, but it's like to actually sit in, like, a warm chair, I would
yeah,
actually be
our offices at the new church, which are in a renovated 1863, like, stone building, are ridiculously cold,
yeah,
and this would be great.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm guessing this would probably be cheaper than running an actual heater because those
Yeah,
things are
probably.
crazy
Yeah.
expensive, actually.
Yeah,
They use a
probably.
ton of, energy or, hydro
But
to do that, so
but how much does one of these cost?
so
Should I
this
guess again?
is, so I guess.
Yeah,
First
let me
guess,
guess. I'm gonna
you
say
guess.
because I mean, even just, like, a good regular
Mhm.
gaming chair is not cheap.
Yep,
So, one with air conditioning,
yeah.
I'm gonna say, uh, $1,200.
So this price has not been released yet, but as a baseline of comparison, their high-end chair, their, what does it say right here? Yeah, the Razer Fujin Pro is $1,500
Ah,
Canadian,
so
and that does
fifteen
not
hundred
have
dollars plus AC.
yeah.
Yeah,
So you're this is probably going to retail for well over $2,000
probably
to have that.
$2,500
So
at least.
I love it. I actually
So
would. I mean,
basically, you have
I'm
to choose. You have to choose between the chair or the Roomba.
yes.
Yeah,
Mm, chair, chair.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
I agree.
10 out
I
of
mean,
10.
let
Yeah,
the
yeah.
record state there is no world in which my wife will let me buy a $2,000 chair, but doesn't mean I don't want it. So okay, so there is Project Ariel. The next one here. Here we go. Pull it up here. This
Mm.
is the oh boy, the Nekohita Fufu,
Oh,
and this is a little cat mount that mounts to the side of your mug or bowl, blowing air to help cool it off.
okay. Uh, I don't care. This thing is useless to me. I thought it was the opposite of what it was at first, and
To
it
keep it
just
hotter?
kept your coffee warm. Because
Yep.
then 10 out of 10, I would use it.
Yeah.
Except I know like the mugs already exist that have like the built-in
They're so
Wi-Fi,
expensive though.
but they're
The,
crazy expensive.
Ember? Is that what it is, I think?
Yeah, something like that. And I've tried using like the electric, coffee warmer coaster things, but it just gives your coffee like a burnt taste.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, I just don't see the point of this. I mean, it takes 30 seconds for my coffee to cool down.
Yep. So this is I think they're maybe more thinking of, like, bowls, because I mean, it's a Japanese thing, so
Yeah, so it's for
your
like hot
ramen, your
soup and stuff.
noodles,
Yeah,
your soup
yeah.
and stuff like
I mean,
that, so
it's definitely Japanese. There's no
for
question about
kids,
that.
yeah, the Nekohita Fufu, and that's what it is, and, so yeah, I actually think our kids would love it. W
So is it just like battery
mm,
operated
I'm guessing,
with a little fan inside? Like, is that all
I
this is?
actually don't the article here doesn't go into a ton of how it actually works, like the actual mechanism, but
Does it
it,
have a cost
it
for
does
me
have
to
a
get?
cost.
Okay.
Yep, so, yeah.
Uh, 34.99
As of right now, based on the current conversion rate, because it's only available or
in
will only
yen.
be available in Japan right away, is $25.
Okay.
So,
So,
but,
whatever.
like, if you do that for a family, that's kinda ridiculous when you could just literally put an ice cube.
Yeah.
So
Or
that
just
that's
or you also have a mouth that can blow on it.
well, and that's what's funny with some of these things. It's more about, like, okay, you did it, but why?
Like fixing problems that don't
Yeah, like,
exist.
why?
Yeah.
You also can just blow on it. Like, with our kids, they say, like, "Oh, it's too hot," and it's like, literally blow on it maybe 4 or 5 times, and you'll probably be able
Yeah.
to have a mouthful of it. Like,
Or just wait patiently for 100 seconds.
it's really not that hard. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Alright, so we are a nay on the
Yeah. The
Nekahita
Nakahicho
Fufu.
Fufu Fifu.
Nekahita
Yeah.
Fufu.
Yeah.
Alright, next one up. This is the Bird Fee Smart Bird Bath.
Okay.
Are you a bird guy, Ben?
I mean, like, I enjoy like, we usually put bird feeders out in the backyard and enjoy the odd bird watch. Like, I'm not a birder per se,
Okay. Yep. So
with binoculars and stuff, but this looks kinda cool, actually.
this is a smart bird bath, and it turns on when a bird is in the bath, and then it uses if you pay for the subscription, it will then use AI to identify the bird.
Oh, okay.
So, if you're in a
You
place I
don't
mean,
have so it'll still record and everything without the subscription.
yeah, it just won't
Okay.
give you the details.
It's just,
Now
like, the next level.
yeah, this I think could be more of a cool thing if you lived in a more, like, ecologically diverse area. Like, for us,
Yeah.
we've got blue jays, robins, cardinals,
Yeah. Finches, whatever, yeah.
woodpeckers, like,
Yeah,
very
there's, like,
few
a half a dozen birds that you see every day, and that's it,
yeah,
yeah.
but I mean, like, so if you're in a place that
I mean,
and if you're a
still
bird
cool to
person
get the, like, really up close,
yeah,
I mean, I don't know, it depends. I mean, this is probably gonna be, like, $300, which means I'd never in a million years would buy it, but it's cool. Like, it's interesting.
so
yeah.
I think it like, yeah, it's more of a
I
if
mean,
you're
you
really
could
into this
basically just buy a cheap, uh, trail cam and
yeah,
just
you could.
attach it to the tree next to your bird
Yeah.
feeder.
Yeah, you could. I think it's neat. Like I more so appreciate this kind of stuff for the tech, where you're kind of bringing together, yeah, like the smart aspect of home devices now with the
Yep.
AI, and you're bringing it together. It's like, if this is your thing, this is like a very niche product, I think,
Yeah, yeah.
where not
I mean,
everybody,
my
but
my my grandmother, before she passed, would have 10 out of 10 bought and used this thing.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of a neat thing. So price, what you said 300? Is that your guess?
Yeah,
300?
$2.99
All right. This is
with a uh $15 a month subscription.
okay. Price is at $420
Ooh.
US,
Okay,
and
I'm not
these
crazy far off, I guess.
wait, where is it? Maybe it's because there's two different oh, you know what? I stand corrected. The bird feeder was 420. This is at 250. And if
Oh,
you get a
so that's
stand,
the camera?
yes.
Like, so
So
to
you
get
were right.
both of them?
300. 300-ish was a good guess. So 300 for the actual thing and a
Feeder.
stand. Yeah, the feeder, camera, all that.
Yeah.
And if you wanted a stand, it's an extra $50. So 250 plus 50
Okay.
if you want the whole thing. So I mean, that's still a lot,
Yeah.
but if that's your thing, then here you go. Go
Yeah,
buy yourself
people pay a
a
lot more than that on their hobbies
yeah.
on a regular basis, yeah.
Yep. So I wouldn't, but kudos to those who would. I don't think it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right. Next up is the Halliday smart glasses. And so what's interesting about these ones is they are the first proactive AI glasses with invisible display. Now, this year, apparently at CES, it was the big thing was wearables. I mean, that
Yeah.
often the last few years wearables, but glasses particular. Do you remember Google Glass?
Oh,
Do you remember
yeah.
that?
I mean,
And
that
like that
was
was just like a really weird looking thing, and it was like
yeah,
big and had a so like
that was
this
like a
year.
decade ago now.
Oh yeah, and so they're really like they've actually condensed all that tech. Not surprisingly, but they've finally been
Yeah.
able to do it into ways that like these are
Don't
actual
look
glasses.
ridiculous, yeah.
Yeah, people would really wear them. They're not like all the tech can actually fit within the frames, real like not entirely, but pretty close to what a real
Yeah.
pair of glasses would be. So
I mean,
what makes
people wear more ridiculous
oh yeah,
looking regular glasses than
yeah, they
that.
do.
Yeah.
So what makes these ones interesting is that they don't project the image on the lens itself. They project the image on your eye. So they actually like
Just
shoot it,
straight onto your eyeball, eh?
project it right onto your eyeball, and it's controlled with this little ring device that you put on. But then the things that it does, which I mean, people are probably familiar with that this kind of stuff exists if you knew anything of Google Glass, but like you can uh, it can automatically be translating things in the real world and then display the translation right on your eye. So you can actually be seeing that. You
Yeah.
can see, you have access to AI wherever you go. So then you can be asking it things. It can be then providing the text of an answer to you on your, like right away, right in front of you, navigation, notifications. So it's, I mean, like, this is a type of thing where, I mean, I usually wear glasses. I think it's fascinating, but I'm also like terrified of it. I don't know if I ever want to actually be
Yeah.
at a place where I would have to rely on it. But I think the tech is crazy.
It is crazy, and I'm the same. I'm like, I'm so intrigued and yet so scared at the same time. I think it's very, very cool. The technology is insanely cool. I think there are certain applications where, like, unequivocally, I would be fine with it. And then there are certain, but then it just scares me, like just knowing the amount of AI that I use on a regular basis without even thinking about it between like Google Maps and just Google searches and like to then take it to this level of like instantaneous 24/7 directly into my eyeballs, um and just what effect that would have on your just yourself, your personality, your psyche, I don't know. It's
Yep.
just crazy to think about.
I are like I have an Apple Watch, had it for a few years, and it's just I hate that I actually feel like naked when I'm not wearing it because I'm
Yeah.
just so used to having very quick access. Check the weather. Cool. Right there. Can just like
Yeah.
have a timer. Don't even have to think about it. Like all those little things where I know I would become very dependent on this. Like I just
Yeah.
would, and
Yeah.
I don't want that. So, but and I guess I didn't say earlier, but if you are listening to this, like we have all the products up on the YouTube video. So if you do actually want to go and check out what these look like, the items we're talking about, you can go see that over on our YouTube video. But so Ben, what would you expect something like this to cost?
I mean, this isn't real yet,
No, yeah, it
right?
is. No, they're doing pre-orders. Like
Like you can buy this today?
you can right now you can reserve. Oh, there's the price right there. Don't know if you saw it, Ben. Did you see
Oh,
it?
I know, I actually didn't.
Okay, so I clicked away real quick, but no, yeah, you can go and pre-order it right now, and it's shipping
Seriously?
soon. Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought this was gonna be like, here's, expect this in 2030 or something.
Nope.
This is like right now. Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Oh my, I don't know. Uh, 3,500. No, it's got to be even more than that. Like $5,500.
I'm just gonna scroll up to the video, and you can take a look. So, oh, that's save 269. But if we go in here, price starts at 369 US, regular price 489.
Shut up.
So these aren't even that far off of what regular prescription glasses would
There's no
cost.
way.
Yeah.
This can't be real.
Yeah.
I
Wild.
don't even,
And that's where, I mean, like my glasses, I mean,
and like that
I,
terrifies me even more because of
it's
how
because like they're,
ubiquitous it will
yeah,
become.
yeah, like they've managed to shrink the tech and all the stuff down to be able to fit in. Like those are not much thicker than my own frames. Like I have decently thick frames, not the craziest, but
Yeah.
like you even see right here, on this person's face,
Yeah, I mean, it
like
just looks like a pair of glasses.
those are just normal
Like a
glasses.
dorky pair of glasses, but
Yeah,
a pair of glasses, yeah.
yeah. So, anyways, that is nuts. Like to have
Oh,
all
man.
of this tech,
That's
crazy.
crazy.
So yeah, not even $500. I mean, I think I paid $300 for my
Just a
frames,
pair
and they're just
of prescription,
yeah,
yeah,
just
yeah.
regular
And I mean,
frames,
I
and
I I assume that you can just get prescription lenses in
yeah, you
these
can.
things, right? Like
Yeah,
that's yeah.
yep. So, anyways, nutty. This was like
Oh,
one of the most crazy ones to me, just because of I was surprised by the
the
price.
honestly, the nuttiest part to me is the price tag.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's that cheap.
Yep. All right, next item. This is called the Swipit. And what this is, it kind of looks like a toaster for those who are listening. And what it is you put your phone in it, and you have a case on your phone. I don't know if the thing's going to have a great image here, but you have a case on your phone. And then
Okay.
what it does is inside the device, it has replacement batteries in it. So you just insert your phone into it, and then it pushes to one side the used battery in the case, and then replaces it with one fully charged.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So, like, they say you can charge your phone in 2 seconds, which is true, in that
You're just switching out the battery, yeah.
you're physically replacing the battery. But
To me, honestly, I feel like this is again, one of those, like, problems that didn't really need to be solved.
Yep.
Um, like, whose phone doesn't keep a charge for 12 hours,
well, and
like,
that's
for a day,
yeah, that's what I was thinking, 'cause
and then just plug it in when you go to bed?
well, and that's why or instead of so I guess the price. What do you think this costs?
Oh, and it, like, not including, like, the extra batteries or anything, right? Like, just
Yeah,
for the
I don't
device?
know what it comes with, in terms of how many battery does it hold.
I don't know.
5 extra ba it says it charges and moves 5 extra batteries, so I don't know what it actually comes with in the box. It's just up for pre-order right now.
I don't know, $150.
$450.
Like,
So just, like, for
buy
me,
one of
when
those pair but you can buy the freaking smart glasses for that.
well, and just like, if you're at your desk, buy a charger for $40 and just have it charging, and, like, you can get it on a stand,
Yeah,
MagSafe, whatever. Like,
I know. Or
this
just like
seems
the
like
yeah, this
fixing a problem that does not have to have, like, even if you do have to, like, because there are some phones, your phone near the end of its life doesn't last very long, okay. Go buy a battery case that
yeah,
then will literally give you the charge that you need for a whole day and some.
Yeah, this
This
seems
is one of those
ridiculous
things.
to
It
me.
looks cool. I think the fact that it does what it does, it's like, oh, I mean, it looks well designed. It looks like
Yeah, yeah,
it's a
yeah,
good
sure.
looking product, but really, like, who is spending
Something that
$450
nobody needs.
for the inconvenience of your phone needing to be charged? Like, just plug it in. Like, this isn't really that hard. So, which oh, you know what? There's another one. I'm gonna jump to it right now because it annoys me. Um, Similar here, right here. This is called the Spicer.
I mean, these have existed for a while, haven't they?
But this is what is it? An AI controlled spice dispenser that uses custom spice capsules to dispense spices based on the dish you are making.
Oh,
So
like it'll combine the
yeah.
different
So
spices.
you
Okay, okay.
buy
You
these
tell it what you're
capsules.
cooking and
Yeah, and then so you program it to say, "I'm making this dish," and it will automatically pull from the different capsules. It's like, or you just pour in the spices that it calls for in whatever recipe
so
you're following.
here's the problem is that the same people that are this inept at cooking are the same people that just eat out anyway.
Yeah,
So why are they buying this?
yep. Okay, and now guess the price. What do you think one of these would go for?
79.99.
So you can pre-order it now for the price of $129.
Yeah,
Regular price 150. The pods are between 15 to 20. Like, you
sure.
go to the grocery store and buy a bag of paprika for, like, what,
Like
$2?
2.99, yeah, like
Like, it's just
that
guys.
that lasts for 4 years before you have to eventually just throw it out because it's
Well,
so
that's
old in
it.
your
Just, like, go
cupboard.
buy your spices, go buy, just one set of measuring spoons, and you're fine. Just, like, follow the directions, you'll be fine. You don't need this.
Yeah.
You don't need this. So,
Oh, I
yeah.
mean, like, all of this stuff is just the fruit of, like, people growing up, g graduating high school, still not knowing, like, what a teaspoon is,
Yeah.
or, like, how many teaspoons are in a tablespoon and how many tablespoons are in a cup, and, it's like,
Yep.
this is damning on our society and education
It
of
sure
our
is. Okay.
children.
Well, the next one here is the EcoFlow Power Hat.
Oh, yeah.
And
Look at
this, as
that.
you can probably gather, I don't know if you know EcoFlow. They're a solar, battery pack
Okay.
company. They've got
I
solar
didn't,
panels.
but yeah,
I
that
actually
makes
have
sense.
Yeah, so I actually have one of their solar powered battery packs, which is pretty cool, but this is solar charging on the go. So it captures sun on, like, everywhere. All this whole hat is covered with
Yep,
little mini solar receptors or whatever you want, panels,
yeah.
and has dual USB-A and USB-C ports, so you can charge two devices simultaneously. It's waterproof, which is good, and comes in two head sizes with an adjustable hook. Ben, would you take this to the beach and wear it?
No, again, because my phone can hold a charge for a day, but I will say, I think it's niche, but I do think the niche does exist,
Yeah.
right? Of just, like, the Uber, like, camper, hiker types that are out for multiple days or, like I sure. Like, I think it's really niche, but I think a market does exist for something like this.
This would be a Pokemon Go fan's dream hat.
Yeah, seriously.
Like, but, like, actually, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
That's,
I
like, the
think you're
thing that
right.
comes to mind for me is, like,
It kinda looks like that too.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it's a weird looking, like, I wouldn't wear a sun hat, personally,
yeah, yeah,
but, it's kind of a yeah, somebody will buy this, and, like,
yeah,
it will probably be people who play Pokemon Go,
yeah,
and that's you be you. Like, that's totally fine,
yeah.
right? Okay,
I
so
did
we've got a
see that it has a price tag of
sorry,
$129
you can see
Canadian,
that right
so
there,
yeah,
129.
that's okay.
So,
I was gonna guess that anyway.
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Alright, next up, we've got a few left here. This one is an electric salt spoon. It is called the Kirin Electric Salt Spoon. And what this does is it adds salty taste to your food without needing salt. And what it does is it actually uses little electrical shocks to zap your tongue, and somehow that converts your taste buds into making it think like you're having salty food.
I don't even really know what to say.
So Ben, would you buy the Kirin Electric Salt Spoon?
No.
Yeah.
There's
I
not a scenario on God's green earth where I would.
I like salt. I eat salt.
Yeah.
I don't have any issues with salt. So this is
And I'm not like, I understand that there is an amount of salt that is not good for you. I think it's far more than the amount that I consume,
yeah.
and I just don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And
No,
I don't foresee that I ever will.
So what do you expect the Kirin Electric Salt Spoon to cost?
Oh my goodness. $99.99.
$125 US. Yep. So if you like salty food but don't want to actually eat salt, then do we have the spoon for you?
But you want to stick an electrified.
Yeah. You want to zap your tongue? Go nuts. That's yeah, not
But you
for
could
me.
just lick a battery
Yeah.
also.
Good. Yeah. I don't know what would be more silly, but anyways, for you, if that's you, go nuts. All right, second last. Here we are. This is the
Oh, we got a big. Yeah, there we go.
this is the B-Bird Earsight Flow, and these are what
Okay,
look like
wait. Can you say
headphones,
that
but
again? B-Bird.
B-Bird Earsight Flow, and these look like headphones, over-ear
Okay.
headphones, but they stream water into your ears to wash them with a special camera that allows you to watch the cleaning process in real time. Ben, I've heard you talking about this so much.
Okay. Well, interesting.
Guy, I found the product. You've been looking for this. Here it is.
Yeah, this is all my dreams come true. I don't know. Were people asking for this?
Like, okay, well, first off, were they asking for a device to clean their ears more effectively? And second, were they asking for one that they could watch in real time?
I mean, I understand that a number of people have an irrational fear of Q-tips in our day and age, apparently,
That's weird.
from what I gather. But I'm not sure about this.
So I am not one of those people who have a concern with ear tip or with Q-tips. Like,
Yeah.
I don't mind them. So if you feel like spending, Ben, what do you think?
Oh, oh my word. $349.
A very reasonable price of $199 US.
Oh, I should probably go get one then.
And they are available today. You can get yourself
Wow.
a pair of the B-Bird Earsight Flow to be able to clean the ears and watch. Just to make sure.
How disgusting must those things be when you're done?
I don't ever want to, I don't want to know what's in there. Like, there are
Ah.
times where I'm cleaning my ears like this. I don't want to actually see this.
Yeah.
So, no, not for me. So, all right. Last but not least.
I mean, they could get like a deal with Beats by Dre
Yeah.
and like combine those products. And I mean,
You-
and I might be there for it.
Easy sale.
Yeah.
Well, the last item is the Aria girlfriend robot.
Okay. Enough said.
And you can see in the title here the cost of said Aria robot.
Yeah. Is her name Sally by chance?
$175,000. And the description here is Aria is a humanoid robot designed to serve as a companion and personal assistant. Area is equipped with advanced artificial intelligence, enabling her to engage in real-time conversations and exhibit human-like facial expressions. Her design includes approximately 17 motors in the head and neck, facilitating realistic mouth and eye movements. Users can customize her appearance by replacing facial features and hairstyles, with future plans to incorporate RFID tags that allow Area to recognize and adapt to different faces and personalities. While Area cannot walk independently, her rolling base allows for movement. Realbotics, the company that makes this gem, emphasizes that Area is designed for companionship and social interaction with potential applications in healthcare settings and theme parks. And they have to make this very clear. Although not marketed as a sex robot, the company acknowledges that Area's design has sparked discussions around the role of humanoid robots in human relationships.
Like, sparked discussions because it can be used as one?
That's where it's like, the fact that they have to clarify with people that, hey, you can't actually have sex with this thing, shows that I think they realize that people probably would.
So,
I
I
just
mean, so it has a rolling like, this thing is literally the robot from Rocky 4 that
yeah.
comes to bring Paulie his birthday cake,
But they've like
but just with a pretty face.
yeah.
Interesting.
It to me is I think more of like an indictment against culture where like this being designed as a companion to old people. It's like, how sad is it that we need to
Yeah.
create little robots or like
Like,
creepy
here,
girl
grandma,
robots?
here,
Yeah,
grandpa,
because I
here's
don't want to
like,
come and hang
we're
out with
not gonna
you.
come visit, but
Yeah.
here's Area.
And spend $175,000 on it. Like, is
Oh,
somebody,
man.
and they are, and that's what to me is like so sad about this, is somebody is lonely enough that they are going to spend $175,000 for this
Yeah.
rolling robot thing. And
Like, some grandfather is gonna spend $175,000 of his grandchildren's inheritance to buy a companion robot
yeah,
to live out his days.
yes,
Ugh.
instead of just like seeing his family, people actually spending time with him, caring about him. And so this one was just like made me sad. The other
Yeah.
ones were like, "Oh, that's silly." This is like, ugh, it's gross that this is even like a thing.
Yeah, you really ended that one on a high note, Jordan.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but it was just like, eh. Because and what's gross about it is, I mean, I didn't look into it, because it wouldn't be appropriate for this show, but it's like, I actually was when I first saw this, I thought it was gonna be a sex robot
Yeah,
because
yeah.
at CES, they actually do have a whole bunch of, like, really disgusting sex, electronics and
I'm
stuff
sure
like
they
that
do.
there as well, and so it's like, I mean, I didn't even entertain any of that because like, I don't care to see that, but,
Yeah.
I was
Mm.
expecting it to be this. So
I
at least
appreciate that.
at least this is not being positioned as that, but it's
Yeah.
almost more sad to me that it's just like, "Oh, you're a lonely old man, so here's your robot friend to try to keep you company because
Yeah.
nobody wants to spend time with you." So,
Yeah. Terrible.
anyways, that is all of our CES stuff. I mean, there's more, but I mean, we don't wanna be talking about it forever. We wanna hop on, with Nate to be able to, go through some
Yeah.
news stories and do 20 questions. So why don't we just quickly hear a word from our sponsors, and then we'll get to that.
Have you ever opened your internet browser in search of quality Christian books, only to find yourself wading through page after page of Joel Osteen books, Nerf guns, and tacky wall art? Thousand Generations Print Company is here to save the day. With a unique, family-owned approach, quick 24-hour processing, a commitment to providing heretic-free literature, and real human customer service, they focus on offering books that not only enlighten but align with Orthodox Christian teachings. And, being conveniently located in Southern Ontario, there's no more need to sell your left kidney to pay for shipping within Canada. Visit at actuallychristianbooks.com. Again, that's actuallychristianbooks.com. And order yourself anything from Haunted Cosmos to Sir Battle-Lot and use promo code NERDOM, that's NERDOM, all caps, and receive 10% off your next order. Thousand Generations Print Company, books for building, books for battling, for 1,000 generations.
I'm Brent, and I'm rebuilding LEGO Star Wars to be the best display and play LEGO models. I enjoy the nostalgia of Star Wars, by creating Lego sets designed for adults but can be handed down to children. I've spent far too much time obsessed with Lego and Star Wars, and God made me far too creative to let it all go to waste. So I created a YouTube channel, Boffman Bricks, to share what I'm building.
Well, welcome back, everybody, and we are now joined by Pastor Nate, NP Wright, P Nate. Nate, how you doing?
Doing great.
Yeah,
Thanks
great.
for
Well,
letting me jump in on this.
yeah, well, we're happy to have you join us because we got a couple things here now in the news from the last. Well, I guess one was last week from when we're recording, and then one of these I just saw the other day. But this one article that I came across, or it kind of came up in Twitter, and it seemed jarring at first, but the more I thought about it, it was a little less so. And it comes off the heels of our Star Wars episode that we released last week, where we unanimously argued for the original trilogy being the best Star Wars. But this was an
Correctly.
article.
Yeah,
It was
which is
from.
the only correct way to argue, but
It's objectively true. I think we can all it's objective, but maybe not so.
Yeah.
This was an article from Screen Rant. The author of this, his name is Nathaniel Rourke, and he makes the argument of why the prequel trilogy has become Star Wars' best era and how other eras can do the same. And so
can I, having just heard that title, I have not read this article. Can I give you, if I were this guy, my argument for why I think someone could argue that the prequel trilogy is the best?
Okay.
Here's how I would make that argument, even though I'm not actually making that argument. I think what they have done a really good job with the prequel era is that they actually made it kid-friendly by starting with the Phantom Menace. And so actually intentionally brought in a brand new audience of kids into that trilogy. And then B, they filled it out with animated shows that filled in all the missing pieces and all the loose ends and storylines that never got finished. And then C, they weren't so married to the main characters that they weren't willing to revoice them in animated shows. So they actually had Obi-Wan and Anakin, the main characters of the prequel trilogy, just completely different voice actors. And just just did it and didn't care. We've kind of mythologized Luke and Han, and those guys. So I think that those are if I'm making the case, that's why the prequel trilogy is the best. What does this guy say?
I mean, much of what you just said, actually, there's that was actually kind of in line with what he was saying. So not everything, but he says the Star Wars saga is divided into several storytelling eras, and nearly 20 years after its conclusion, the prequel trilogy is still the best era of the Star Wars timeline. Although the prequels have received heavy criticism, they have also garnered a passionate fan base, leading many to reevaluate the movie since their release. Much of this can be attributed to the prequel era itself, which is ripe for quality stories thanks to strong characters, compelling conflicts, and detailed world building. And then he goes on to say tie-ins like the Clone Wars and Bad Batch have enhanced the prequel story. So really what they're saying, and I think it's kind of the distinction of he's not saying that the movies are the best. He's saying that era, that period has become the best. And I think there actually could be something there, because when you do see some of the quality, the quality of some of the shows and the stories that have come from it, I haven't watched through Clone Wars, but I'm actually going to do that now with the kids. And I've heard nothing but praise for that show. And I think, Ben, did you say that Bad Batch was actually really good?
So I haven't watched all of Clone Wars. I actually prefer both Rebels and Bad Batch to the Clone Wars itself. But there are some really cool story arcs and storylines in the Clone Wars.
Yeah. So Nate, what are your thoughts? Do you have any? Do you agree? Do you disagree? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, so one of the things that I would have said that that maybe the article and Ben didn't say is that there's more Force users, right? So in the era of the original trilogy, you sort of have the Jedi have all been hunted down; they're all dead except Obi-Wan, who's hiding away, Yoda, who's hiding away, and then you have Luke. And if you go and do the advanced canon and stuff like that, they start training Leia. I can use the Force, all that kind of stuff. But in terms of the era, you have the Jedi Council. You have multiple characters who can kind of stand on their own in terms of, like, you have Ahsoka, you have everybody's on that council, and they have their own apprentices and all that kind of stuff. So there's more breadth of interesting characters in the world. Whereas by the time you get to the original trilogy in the universe, you have the Galactic Empire that sort of has everything on lockdown. And now I think they could give you other characters. They could give you the Dash Rendar kind of characters and stuff like that in that era if they wanted to. But in terms of just interesting characters, the amount of Force users, the amount of galactic politics and all that kind of stuff that's in play, I think they're right that it's a very interesting era, and it's ripe with more possibilities than the original trilogy's era. But yeah, like we said last week, they're not better movies, but
Yeah,
I
just
get why they would say it's a
execution
better
of
era.
the movies themselves are just clearly inferior.
Right.
Well, I think there's also something, it's cool getting the additional context of what was going on, that, what led Anakin to become Darth Vader, but like we're watching through them right now. We just finished Attack of the Clones with the kids, and it's been really hard actually watching it where you know what's going to happen, and like Haddon keeps saying like, wait, which one's Darth Vader? It's like Anakin, and the kind of look on his face, but it's like it's not a surprise, like we know that, and it's just like almost like inherent in that where you know the outcome, so it's really hard to have that kind of prequel story. So one of the things, actually, a guy, a friend of all of ours, Jordan, the other Jordan, who's in our Fritters and Stogies group chat at our church, but we
Because of
he was
his
saying,
ability to make a mean apple fritter.
oh yeah, that's why Jordan is the fritter guy. But he was saying he thought it would have been a way more interesting story to not have Anakin be the central figure, but rather have it be from Obi-Wan's perspective, because we didn't really know what was going on with him necessarily. Like and have it framed in that, okay, we know what's happening with Anakin, but we don't know necessarily all the other things that were happening. So I thought that was kind of an interesting take that would have maybe fixed that a little bit, where it's like, yeah, we know, but you don't know at the same time, where it was almost like too predictable in ways.
So this is very much sort of a tangent, but have you heard recently they've revealed there was initially going to be a huge twist at the end of A Phantom Menace, where the original story was that Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan were opposite, and like Obi-Wan was the older one and Qui-Gon was the apprentice, and in like the final death scene when Qui-Gon tells him to train the boy, that it's actually Obi-Wan telling Qui-Gon to train the boy, and that in some sort of like twist, the Qui-Gon character takes on the like name of
Oh wow,
Obi-Wan. Anyway, I don't know exactly how it went, but
interesting.
yeah, that was just revealed not that long ago, that was the like initial kind of idea for the Phantom Menace, which I don't know exactly how that would have worked, but it was interesting.
Yeah. Well, I think this guy's not as crazy as I might have initially thought. Like when you read the article and the argument, it's like, yeah, I get it. Again, I haven't watched as much of the stuff. I can't stand Attack of the Clones. Like, again, we just watched that, and they
pretty bad.
literally CGI'd
So
her
bad.
eating a pear. Like, just have her eat an actual pear, people. Like, why couldn't she
But
just?
it's a space pear.
Oh
like,
my!
where are you
like,
gonna get a
it's-
space pear, Jordan?
It was awful. I was just, I could not look past the terrible CG. Like when a door obviously is not really opening up, and it's just like poor actors having to film that. It was it was terrible. But yeah. So, anyways, I think that's an interesting argument. I think there's something to it. But all right. So the second in the news article, and this is less an article that I'm pulling up here. It's more. For those who are aware, Joe Rogan, he's had kind of a busy couple weeks. He's had some
for
pretty
real.
big guys on there. He had our boy Wes Huff.
Yeah, Wes
Get it?
Huff. He did a great job.
He's a guy who's kind of in the, or familiar with, or at least has maybe partnered or has some familiarity with Ezra. Really great guy who specializes in like textual criticism and the history of the Bible and ancient languages and stuff. So that was really cool. But then he also had Mel Gibson, which was really interesting. And that conversation even led to them talking about the reality of the resurrection, which, again, how crazy is it that Joe Rogan's podcast is talking about the historicity and the veracity of the claims of Jesus' resurrection.
Yeah.
Crazy. But
What
he
a
also
time.
had, so on Friday, he had Mark Zuckerberg, and which is interesting because Zuckerberg was one of the most vocal guys pro-vaccine, pushing against people who were challenging the narrative. And so he had him, Joe had him on for almost 3 hours on Friday. And in that, they discussed things like Meta's new content moderation policy, talking about his desire to see free speech, he being pro-Trump now. Did you guys have a chance to listen to it at all? Have you followed it a bit? Like, it's just it's crazy that
It's funny when someone threatens to put you in jail, how quickly you'll turn to their side. No, so I haven't actually seen the Rogan interview with Zuckerberg. I did see whatever that little like 5-minute kind of announcement that Zuckerberg put on Facebook for everybody to see, and I just found it fascinating. And I sent it in our group chat, and I joked with you, Jordan. I said I feel like this is just like the logical end when somebody starts to lift weights and have children, that they just like this is
so. But actually,
Yeah.
he I mean, a lot of people. It's not news now that he's gotten really into like jujitsu, MMA stuff. Mark Zuckerberg, he hangs out with fighters, and so it's interesting because I don't know if it was an article or a video I saw, but somebody was saying how in the last year or two, he's started fighting. He also was diagnosed with having low testosterone, so he was put on some testosterone therapy, eating more meat, exercising, and all of a sudden, look what happens when you're not depleting yourself of like masculinity. So one of the things he even said was that he wants to see more masculine energy in companies, and like his voice literally sounds different, and he has like an actual confidence to him now versus where he was like a couple years ago. So
where he looked like Data from Star Trek.
yeah,
Yeah.
he didn't look human.
Legit, yeah.
Yeah, well, like, people were making the jokes about him being a clone. It's like, well, you're not exactly disproving this very well because you look like you're not even human anymore.
Well, maybe this is like Santa Claus 2, and this is actually
Yeah.
the like clone version of Zuckerberg taking over Facebook.
Let's not go down a cloning rabbit hole because
Yeah,
that's
like
a whole.
Zuck is probably tied up in the basement somewhere at Meta
I'll take this. I'll
headquarters.
take this, Zuck. Give me, testosterone filled, aggressive, wanting to fight everybody, Zuck. But I mean, the thing that I think which is interesting about this is to all those people again, and we've said this a bunch of times, but what are can it actually make a difference having Trump be president? Well, look at now the effect of a Trump presidency. He's not even president yet. I think it's a couple weeks from now that he actually is sworn in again.
Not
Like, pretty
even.
soon.
Yeah, not even.
Like, pretty soon. And already look at the impact it's having on Hollywood. So Zuck said there's or I don't know if it was him who said in the interview, but right around the time that the interview came out, Meta announced that they're ending all DEI programs at Meta. And so we're
Crazy.
talking about one
Yeah,
of the
like,
largest
absolutely
companies in
crazy.
the world.
Yeah.
And now he's pro-Trump. He's pro-free speech. I mean, the community notes thing, which is a big thing at X and, otherwise known as Twitter.
Well, and to the point where I was shocked that he didn't just say we're going to be doing community notes or whatever. He was like they do over at X.
Yes.
Which like these guys hated, like, I mean,
Yep.
up until 5 seconds ago, like hated
Yep.
each other and were
Yep.
complete rivals, and it was shocking to me.
Wasn't there news like a year ago that the two of them were going to have a jiu-jitsu match or something?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
were.
They were
which
gonna have a cage match?
In the
Yeah.
Coliseum is where it was
Right.
actually supposed to happen. Because apparently Elon is actually a pretty good fighter. I don't know.
I think Zuck might take him now.
Yeah.
He hangs out with actual like MMA champion guys. I forget who they are, but I've seen videos and he's
Yeah.
like ringside with some of these big guys and he's training in their clubs. And so I think actually what led to him going on this, like being diagnosed even maybe with this testosterone thing, is he had like a leg injury in his MMA fighting. And then in doing a blood sample during that rehab, it ended up being shown that it's like, no, you have really low testosterone. And now all of a sudden he's like fit. You hear him talk. I think there was a video of him. It's kind of ridiculous, but he was riding a surfboard thing or a wakeboard behind the wake of a boat, drinking a beer with like a pro-America song. It's like, what in the world is going on right now? Right? I mean, I'll take more of it. I
You
like
could
that Zuck.
you couldn't write this script. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
but it
I mean, I think it's worth noting how interesting it is that the guy who testified before Congress that Facebook does not throttle free speech is now saying that they're going to stop throttling free speech, and there will be no repercussions for him. Like that's it's frustrating that that's the world we live in. But like you said, I mean, we're here for it. We're glad that that's the trajectory of this thing. And I do think, like, as much as we're poking fun at it, I do think this is what happens. The world that we've lived in for the last 20 years is the world that exists when men don't lead. And so when you have, beta boys, when you have guys who are low testosterone who are, caught up in feminism, who are catering to their female clients or crowd or congregants or whatever, this is the world that they make. But when you have somebody who starts acting like a man, we're not saying anything about his character, or like he's still an unregenerate pagan, but this is what happens when men act like men and lead the way they're supposed to lead, is better things happen. And even though obviously we would like to see him come to a saving knowledge of Christ, we'll take this change as well, because this is just a man being a man.
Yeah, even just men acting like men and taking responsibility is a net positive for society, converted or not. Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what happens like in our, Christian camp, where you have the Gospel Coalition. I mean, none of us read the Gospel Coalition, but they're going to have all these articles. They'll talk about gun control and pro-immigration and all these things. I'm curious to see, and I haven't checked, but I probably will after this, go see, is there anything that they're writing about, talking about this in a good light? Or as we've seen in so many things, is this going to be because the left media is calling this, like Zuckerberg's become a right-wing extremist, him and Peter Thiel, who is another big Silicon Valley investor guy. I think he was maybe one of the eBay guys who founded eBay, huge multi-billionaire guy. He's now talking pro-Trump, and everybody's calling him a right-wing extremist. So it just makes you wonder, because when we think about all the things during COVID that were suppressed because of Facebook, because of Twitter, that Christian thought leaders, your Russell Moores, your Beth Moores, your J.D. Greers, all these people, and all these are fresh in my mind because I'm reading right now Megan Basham's Shepherds for Sale, and it's enraging me in reading it. So it just
Why are you
makes me wonder,
reliving
it's
those dark days?
is it is it going to be, are you guys going to acknowledge any of that? Because like apparently Zuck has no issue now saying that they did throttle the laptop story, which did actually alter an election. And now
that's the fun part about all this stuff coming out. It gets drip fed out, like with Zuck and with Elon and all these guys sort of having their conversion moment and coming to the light side. Is that every single time there's no acknowledgement from the other side. You know what I mean? It's like these guys come over and they're like, yeah, we totally were doing that, but we're not anymore. You still get no acknowledgement from the other side that, oh yeah, I mean, I guess you were at least half right. It's just like, yeah, it's annoying.
I just feel a little bit of vindication in all of this, as what many would probably consider me to be a conspiracy theorist, as you guys as well. It's like, no, we were right. We knew it. And so at least there's something there where it's like, okay. But yeah, I guess like what happens with a guy like Zuck in all of this? Like, do we just embrace the guy? Like, I'm happy he's doing it, but do we just like forget the fact that no, like he was actually an enemy in that sense? And it's just hard to now, like, what do we do with that? Do we just like based Zuck? Do we just kind of move on as if nothing happened? I don't know. I don't know what to do with it, but I'm obviously happy that it's happening, but I just don't know even really how to think about him.
I think it's like anything else, though. I think that we get a little too tribal sometimes, where it's like, oh, he's come over to our side and therefore now we trust him. I think we just have to be less tribal generally. Elon generally has been an ally of free speech over the last little while, but he also made some major mistakes recently with all of the with the immigration stuff that he was talking about, bringing over skilled workers and all that. we still have to weigh people's, actions and still call them out when they're bad and say that they're good when they're good. So I just think, maybe don't pick Zuckerberg for your like favorite influencer bingo card. Be a little wary, but also be thankful that we're living in a world where he's walking back a bunch of stuff that he's done that has harmed society.
Yep. No,
Balanced, right?
Yeah, I think that's good because it just makes me excited to think this is a pre-Trump presidency kind of thing happening. Like, what does 2 years from now actually look like? I think it's going to be good. So, all right. So because we don't have a ton of time left, we do want to end the show with 20 questions.
Oh man,
We're bringing it back.
We got to
We have
redeem
so much
ourselves.
redemption
We're bringing it back. So I do have another movie. A lot of movies. I think the movie. Let's give you guys another chance at a movie. So I have the movie. You guys now have 20 questions for those who maybe are new. They have 20 questions to be able to figure out with asking questions to elicit a yes or no answer. If
Nate,
based
are you
on
even
my
writing them down?
Dude, I'm getting a notepad.
All right. So if on my discretion, I might provide some clarity if necessary, but it is meant to be yes or no questions. So starting now.
All right.
Go.
So one thing that Nate and I discussed post show last time when we were so terrible that we're going to switch it up and we're not going to go back and forth. We're going to discuss.
I think that's
and
wise.
figure out what
Work as a
questions we want to
team.
ask. Yeah,
Work as a team.
because that
Okay.
was terrible and embarrassing. Okay.
That said, question number 1 is no. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. No, I mean I think we go genre, right? Right?
Yeah, I think
We do-
genre was the main thing.
Okay.
Era is going to be a key piece as well, but I think we have to ask better questions than like, was it anyway? We got to figure out era, how to narrow that down with less questions. But yeah, let's go genre first.
All right. What are we feel like? Action?
Yeah, let's yeah.
Is it an action movie?
It is.
It is. Oh man, we got this.
We are
19
on
questions
it.
left. All right, so now we want to go era? Like decade?
Yeah.
Or do we narrow it to like
so-
a 20-year period first?
Right.
Because I don't want to derail you guys entirely, just know like action can not necessarily mean it's like an 80s action flick.
Yeah,
Oh.
it can be multi-genre.
Yes.
It can
Yeah,
be
okay.
two
Just-
genres at once.
Just because I don't want
get
that to set you down a path entirely derailing. So I'll just provide that clarity. Like it,
Is it Predator? Is
Yeah.
it Demolition Man?
yeah,
Is it
that's right. So just to make sure that's clear. There you go.
Okay. What do you think? Like
So I would
post
say maybe if
2020
we go
or post 2000?
Yeah, I was going to say like 2000 is probably a good breaking point.
All right. Or do you want to go pre or post first?
Yeah,
I think it's going to be pre.
I think it's going to be pre as well,
Let's
because then we
let's
can
do that.
narrow it down to a decade. So let's just say,
Okay.
was it made before 2000?
It was.
Oh, man. I feel like we're cheating.
Yeah. So
Do you want it? Do
it's
you want to
either
narrow
80s or
era even
90s,
further?
right? I would assume. I mean, you might have gone something back, like way back.
Yeah. Okay. So, what's our next narrowing then? Do we even just we're fine with pre 2000s for era questions?
I think so. I don't think
Okay.
we need it broken down too much, because like, what would it change our guesses if it's 80s or 90s?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That we might need to do that later, but I
So-
think we're good for now.
I think one of the things that so last time, like getting into like the actors helped a lot, right? Like
Yeah.
the only reason we got close is because one of our last questions was, did he play a superhero?
Yeah.
So narrowing down the actors would be really good. We should just probably assume that it's a male protagonist.
A male lead. Yeah, especially if it's pre 2000.
Right. Okay. So do we want to say like the other thing that's sometimes helpful is it set like in the future, in the past, right? Like is it
That's a good one. That's a good one.
or is it set in the modern era? Because like anything in the past would be like the
Like a period piece or like
like
a
13th Warrior
historical
kind of thing,
fiction
right?
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm good with that. I think that would be helpful.
So do you want to assume that maybe it's set in the past or the future? What do you think is more?
Or the present, I get, like,
Or the present,
that could be 3. Let's assume it's, I don't know, let's ask about past first.
Okay.
So
Is the movie set
is the
in
setting of
in
the
past
movie
era?
in a like prior to the year that it was made?
No.
So it's either present or future. Do we want to just narrow that down and get that
Yeah,
over
let's
with?
do that.
So is it
Is it set in the future?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. All right.
So this might be Demolition Man. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, yeah. Do we want to so yeah, is it earthbound? Like, is it a future but
Ooh,
Earth? Or is
good
it,
question.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good question. Is it set solely on Earth?
Yes. I will just clarify to make sure, but I believe yes.
Okay. So it's a future Earth made in the probably 80s or 90s. Do we want to start going actors, trying to figure out a way to narrow down actors?
Yeah.
Just to clarify, like okay, largely set on Earth, but it does have some other aspects not on Earth as well.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
Interesting. Okay. Okay. So they went to outer space somehow.
right, like maybe on a like on a space station or something like that.
Yeah. Huh.
That's throwing me a bit, so let's not focus too much on that.
Yeah.
So it's not like a Demolition Man kind of like dystopian future. I don't think.
Doesn't sound like it. Okay, let's figure out how to narrow down the ad. Do we want to just do the superhero question again? Because I feel like that actually
Yeah,
is
that
pretty
helped
helpful
us
because there's
last
so
time.
many.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Is
how do
the
we want to ask
main
that? Is
is
the
the
main
main
actor?
protagonist? Does he also star? I'm assuming it's a he. Do they also star in a superhero movie of any kind that you are aware of?
I think yes.
Oof.
I know that's not a great answer.
That is not a great answer.
Okay.
But
It's because you're not sure and you can look it up, or you don't know how to answer.
I would say not in the way that you would maybe assume a superhero role.
That's very vague.
Incredibly
Not in like a
unhelpful.
traditional superhero sense.
Okay.
Somebody who voice acts in an animated superhero movie or something, like The
or just like
Incredibles,
a
or
not well known
yeah.
whatever. Okay. All right. All right.
Sorry, that was question 6, right? Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Is Jeepers, I suck at this. What do you got?
Yeah, me
Nate?
too.
I was riding a high there after like 3 questions.
Yeah, you made it sound like you were going to get it after question 2 there when it was
I
pre-2000 action movie.
I don't know how to get past
What
this
if we
middle
ask,
section.
are there non-humans in the movie?
Oh, good one. Good one.
Yeah. Are there non-humans in the
That's a
movie?
wonderful question.
Yes.
Now, like, are we including animals, or is that like
Oh.
aliens?
Yeah, I was thinking, are there extraterrestrials in the movie?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. That's good. That's helpful.
Do you think it is like a superhero movie? Like, could this be one of the old Supermans?
Yeah.
Superman's not set in the future though.
Dang.
What about like Mars Attacks or something like that?
Oh man. That's such a great movie, actually.
Totally agree.
I think we should just ask if it's Mars Attacks.
Is it Mars Attacks?
Yeah.
Is that really a question? Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. What about Independence Day?
Yeah, that's right, because they do go off planet for a little bit
Yes.
to go
Yes.
blow up the
Okay.
ship. So
Well,
let's try and not be so specific. Like maybe
Yeah.
we can say, how about this?
Ooh, does that take
Is
place in the future though? We're kind of missing that question.
Oh crap, you're right. You're right. Dang. But yeah, shoot.
But that's a great one. Did maybe like were it set just a few years in the future? Like
I
I
was
don't
gonna
know.
say, what July 4th was it?
Ooh,
Um,
yeah, that's true. Unless it came out on July 4th.
What if we yeah, it is exactly in the present. What if we ask, like, is the main character African American?
I knew you were gonna ask that. And then my response was gonna be, can you ask that?
All right, I'm doing it. Is the main character African American?
No.
Okay. Okay. I still I think I think you're on the right track, because I don't think they like go to another planet or anything per se.
Oh,
Obviously.
isn't Predator set in the future?
Yeah, but it's like obviously not on Earth. He seemed very like
No, it is on Earth. The original Predator?
yeah, but yeah, right.
Right, it's in the jungle or
Is it-
I don't know if there's anything that goes off Earth though, unless they
Yeah.
show. Yeah, I'm just
Can't
wondering
remember.
about.
It's been so long.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we know that the protagonist is male? Have we asked that?
No, we've
I'm
just
just
been
thinking of the whole
assuming 'cause it's
Alien series as well, right?
pre-2000. Yeah, because it could be like what's that? No, I
Yeah,
think that's post
Alien.
2000. Yeah, let's just get that over with. Is the main protagonist a male?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
That's 10
Confirmed.
questions. 10
Confirmed.
left.
Okay. It is a pre-2000 set on a future Earth, male, Caucasian protagonist.
Non-African American to clarify.
Oh, true. Could be Asian or something else.
Could we ask something like, is this one of those, like, when you think of Predator, when you think of Demolition Man, when you think of that genre, it's often like not Independence Day. I guess it's subjective. I was just thinking of like, is there one sort of star in it, or are there multiple stars? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like is it like a buddy flick, or is it
Right.
like the one main guy?
Yeah. But I don't know
Yeah.
how to ask that in a way that's not kind
Sure.
of subjective.
Would it largely be seen as a single, like one main star of the movie, or would it be more of a buddy film?
There would be multiple stars in this movie.
Okay. All right. Oh, no. No. For many reasons, it can't be that. I was going to say Space Jam.
Ooh.
Good training. Good, yeah.
Ooh. Dude, we're terrible at this.
Because I'm just thinking too, like animated too. Like I haven't even until this very moment, I had not considered animated. Yeah. Is it animated?
No.
Okay. All right then.
I feel like that should be an early question.
That
next
answers
time.
that. Yeah.
Okay, so there's aliens in it. There's multiple stars. Protagonist is not African American. Primarily takes place on Earth in the future. And it's written in sort of 80s, 90s, what we're thinking. There's
Planet of the
I'm just
Apes?
thinking about that whole like the Giver, you know what I mean? Logan's
Oh
Run,
yeah. Like what about
Mad
what about?
Max. Like there's no aliens in that genre at all, eh?
I was gonna say Planet of the Apes, but you consider
Ooh,
the apes aliens because they're. I mean, they're just like evolved apes,
we,
right?
that's a good question. Although we did say extraterrestrials, which literally just means from another planet. I don't know how the rules apply to time travel.
Yeah.
That's a good one though. Okay, so what if we ask this? Do animals play a significant role?
Sure.
No.
Yeah.
I feel like this is dropped off significantly.
Yeah.
We were riding the high.
Oh
You had a
man.
2-question high, and you guys were just feeling great. And
Yeah,
And then we
totally.
just failed with every subsequent question.
so
Oh,
you're
okay.
at 13 questions.
Okay. We got oh man. And it's like a buddy film too. So there's like multiple stars. Should we try and narrow down like the one thing we sort of know is the era? Should we try and just narrow that down?
Like just ask if it was made in the 90s. I just don't know what that would change in terms of my next questions.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It would help us think about what kind of like actors to narrow it down to probably. Right? Like 80s versus
What if we made it more like, so if you think of the difference between sort of Independence Day versus like, you know, is there a lot of fighting in it, right? That would change the dynamic between whether or not it's like a, you know, Lord of the Rings style where there's all these battles and stuff, Mars attacks versus something that's a bit more dramatic, right? Star Wars has lots of fights in it. Like,
yeah,
I
like
don't know.
is it like war? Oh, like a like
Right.
war
That's kind of what
based
I'm
or
getting at. Is
more
it
like
like,
dramatic?
yeah, are there battles? Are there,
I don't know how to not make that incredibly subjective.
yeah, that's fair.
Like is there like a pitched battle, I guess.
Oh, what about Ninja Turtles with Krang? Do they have the Krang in those original movies?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
Oh,
there weren't a whole lot of stars in that movie anyway. I don't know
no.
why I just thought of Ninja Turtles though. I don't know, man.
Maybe just like think
How
about
about this? Is the
actor.
protagonist still acting?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
They are not.
Okay. So it's on the older end of pre-2000s probably.
Right.
Or they were already older at the time.
Right.
Oh man.
Would that be like an Arnold Schwarzenegger kind of like, what about Terminator?
Yeah. Why have we not thought of like Terminator? What the heck?
Do you want to do some like 80s and 90s stars and see if we can narrow down the actor?
I would love to do that.
What if we went like this? Is the main protagonist either Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sylvester Stallone? Get out of here.
Is it one of those two?
Yeah.
Because we haven't set parameters on those types of questions, I guess I'm bound to.
Or we could say, do they also act in what's the movie that they're all in? You know what I mean? There's like 10 of them. They made a whole bunch of them.
Expendables.
The
I'll help you
Expendables.
there.
Do they also act in the Expendables?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay. So we've got like Stallone, Arnold, all that crew.
Yeah.
Okay. So do we want to let's try something that would be somewhat helpful to figure out if it's Terminator, and if it's not, it would still be kind of a helpful question.
What about like do robots or do robots play a significant part? Because that could be a few different things, but
Sure. Yep. Are there robots?
I believe so, yes. It has been a while since I've watched this particular film. Oh, no, robots do not. No,
Oh,
robots are not a main part of it.
okay. Like, Jeepers. Like Judge Dredd.
Yes. Are there aliens in Judge Dredd?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to think. I don't
Oh,
think
what about
so.
was Die Hard? What's the guy's name?
Like
No, the actor. What about like Fifth Sense? Wasn't that like he was
Fifth
he in
Element?
Expendables?
Well, I don't know if he was or not. It's a good question. Are you
can't
talking about
remember.
you're talking about the Fifth Element?
Fifth Element. That's the one I'm talking about. Bruce Willis.
Um,
Was he in Expendables?
I think he was. Yeah, he was. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I can't shake that because Jordan got agitated. I'm going to cheat a little bit. He got agitated when I asked about Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger. I feel like it's one of them.
So the question being, is it either Sylvester Stallone or Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yeah.
No.
That was
Yeah.
the question that you
Yeah.
didn't answer.
And it was no. It's neither of them.
Okay,
Oh.
but he is in the Expendables, and I'm pretty sure Willis is in the Expendables. So you might be on to the Fifth Element there. What do we got left? Like 4 questions?
3 questions.
3 questions. Is what's his name? Chris Tucker. Is he?
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. There was other people. I'm going to go for it. Like, is it Fifth Element?
It is.
Yes. Yay!
Amazing.
18 questions. So the one where that was a little bit like I wasn't sure was he a superhero, because he was in that movie
in the Shyamalan.
Unbreakable.
yes. Yeah.
Which was a great movie, actually.
So not in like your traditional superhero
Right.
Yes.
sense, but
But
yes,
in a very
was.
real sense.
Yeah, he
yes.
was. So
Yeah.
all right, boys.
We did it.
Amazing.
I
It
am really
wasn't pretty, but
I'm
we did it.
genuinely happy for you guys. I want you to win. I want this. So that's good. So
Well, you were
it's,
pretty generous with a couple of your answers, I will say.
yeah, you know what? We'll get there. You guys will. I'll get harder with or a little bit more strict. But
That was
anyway.
a good, like, random enough pick, but also not impossible.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. And
I felt like Fight Club was too. Those were good picks. You're doing well picking. We just got to get better at our questions.
and you will. But anyways, boys, is there anything else for this week, or are we good to put a pin in it?
I don't know. After that
good.
Zuckerberg conversation, I feel like I need to go do some push-ups.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Well, listeners, we hope you had fun. Again, as always, with 20 questions. If you have any suggestions, please send them in. Comment on this on YouTube, or send us an email at reformingnerdom@gmail.com. We'd love to have yours. And maybe someday we're going to have some of our patrons come and join so they can have a turn playing 20 questions. But until next time, stay nerdy.